Welcome everybody to this new episode of Spanish Loops. Here we are one more week. Hola Jorge.
Hola, Fran. How are you doing today?
Doing amazing. How about yourself?
Not bad. I'm very excited today. We have another guest today with us.
Yes, so happy. Let's get some music and let's introduce
And
our
let's
special guest
introduce
in
our
1 second.
guest. That's right.
Hello everybody and welcome back to this new episode of Spanish Loops. And as we have said in the introduction, we do have a very special guest
Mm-hmm.
today.
Yes.
Jorge, please do the honors.
Well, it's not me who has to do the honors. Who has to do the honors is her that we see her on the screen. Here she is. I've known her not so much personally, but she has been very, very gracious to give to us some of her personal time. She is a professional flamenco dancer, and she works as a very famous flamenco place, tablao, here in Madrid. Her name is Ana Romero. There she is. Ana, buenas tardes. How are you?
Hi guys, thank you so much for inviting me to the show. I'm excited.
Oh,
We're
thank you
so
so
happy to
much.
have you here. We're like mind blown because you're an amazing artist. Here you are with us. Super happy
Wow,
to see you today.
thank you for the beautiful words. Thank you.
Thank you. Anna, how come that a flamenco dancer, with all my respect for all the other flamenco dancers, has such a wonderful English like you do?
Okay, well, here's a secret. Here's a big secret. I was born and brought up in Australia,
Oh,
and yes, my parents are from the south of Spain. My
uh-huh.
father's from Huelva, my mother's from Cordoba, and they
Yeah,
immigrated, and I was born in Australia. So I've been very lucky to be brought up between two cultures. My family were very Andalusian,
yeah, huh?
where the tradition was very much at home. And I feel very fortunate to be able to speak English, to know the culture
Yeah,
of another country,
yeah.
and to have started to learn flamenco in Australia, believe it or not. And I actually learnt from a gypsy dancer that was living there when we were kids, because obviously we attended a community, a
Yeah,
Spanish community,
yeah.
and we were all children. Everybody that went there, they were immigrants. We were Spanish immigrants. So
Okay.
we got together, and that's how we initiated really there.
All right. So, where about, first of all, a big hug to all the Aussies that might be listening to to
Yes,
this episode. Where about in Australia where you brought up?
I was born in Melbourne and brought
Uh-huh.
up in Melbourne. Yes, and lived there till the
Wow.
age of 22.
Wow, I love that city. I went there like about 8 years ago, and I was just shocked. I was never expecting a city, Melbourne per se, to be the way it is, and the way it's grown up lately. So much. The cultural life in Melbourne is amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It is incredible. Yeah. Okay, Anna. So, well, how long have you been back since you came from Australia?
Oh, well, if I tell you the whole number, you're going to know my age. So, which is
Let's
which
do
is
it a few years ago.
fine. No, which is fine. I've got no problem. I'm 57. I'm actually very proud of it. So I've
You
been
you are
here.
you are 57?
Yes, I'm 57 and I'm still
What?
active.
How what
Yes.
on earth? What's your secret?
Oh, I think you got to have
Dancing, passion.
yes, passion in life,
Oh my
definitely.
goodness. Whoa.
Curiosity too, I think is a big secret.
Oh, wow.
And good genes. I have great
Uh-huh.
genes. My mum's 95. With that, I tell you everything.
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yes.
incredible. Yeah.
So I've been here for many years, for 34 years,
Mm-hmm.
35 years. And I arrived here at the age of 22, very young, with no expectation to be a dancer, believe it or not. I was very much in love with dancing already because I've been dancing for many years. But I was also very much in love with the Spanish culture, which was part of my upbringing with my family. So I wanted to live in Spain. I really wanted to live in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Wow.
So, why don't we center a little bit of our talk and why don't we start talking about flamenco? Today, we
Okay.
want to having you an expert of flamenco. Anna, can you share with us a little bit of the beginning of the history behind flamenco?
Well, flamenco is a very difficult art form, a very rich art form. And as we know, we had a Moorish influence in our culture for over 900 years. many other cultures. And flamenco is a music where the gypsies arrived in Spain more or less 1425, bringing very strong connections to other cultures as well. And it's a music that really talks about hardship in the end. I always say it's a form of manifestation, so much as a protest, as a celebration. Okay, we're talking about back then. Now it is too. You know, when we talk about now, obviously we live a different era, we live different circumstances, and everything has to be adjusted to where we are living now and how we are living. So we cannot do a flamenco that is back to that era. We do a flamenco that is very actualized in the era that we are living. But obviously flamenco is a music that belonged to a working class very much. And it was a way of getting together, whether it was a reunion for a celebration, like I said, and everybody participated. It's also music that comes from the family. Family members are very important. The elderly are very important. In flamenco, age is an asset. Age is something highly, highly respected. So I think these are things that are really, really important in the art form as well, because it does give a lot of grounding to the art, and it makes you understand where everything is coming from in the end.
Okay. Anna, I do have a little bit of it's not controversial. I'm talking about myself when people, well, you know that Francisco and I, we are tour guides, and we take family or group of friends or groups to the place that you're working, that will let everybody knows later on where it is. But when people ask us, oh, take me to a flamenco show, sometimes they do believe that flamenco is the typical, you know, the Sevillana dress with the castanets and a man with a guitar, and that's it. No, it's much more than that. So how could you, being born and brought up in a Anglophile country, that how could you explain that flamenco is not just one thing? It is like an big tree with so many branches. How would you explain that in few words?
Well, really, in a few words, is very difficult to explain
I
because
know.
flamenco, really, for the tourist, I can tell you, you're very lucky. You're seeing very good quality generally in lots of places in Spain now.
Mhm,
Flamenco's really been upgraded, and fortunately for the tourists and for the artists, that's very important
mhm,
because we love what we do. We have a lot of respect and a lot of passion for what we do. So really, no, it's not like I said, you know, those elements that you talk about are very important and they're part of the shows that we do, but we don't always use them. As performers, we need the freedom, the creativity to be able to perform as professional performers. And I think tourists are not stupid. You know when you're seeing something good, and you
mhm,
also know when you're not seeing something that's maybe not at the level that you would like to see. And I think art, I don't know a lot about painting, but I know when I go to a gallery, and I know when I get emotional, when something touches my heart. And I think that's very important. When you see a flamenco show, you're going to know when something touches you in a personal way. And in the end, flamenco is a music that talks about anything in life. So it doesn't matter what part of the world you're from, you are going to relate to the music because it talks about any common thing: love, death, union, communion, family, food, plazas, anything. You know, it's just so down to earth, it's so grounded that it's impossible not to connect.
that's
To
beautiful
me,
words.
when
Yeah.
when we get to see flamenco, when how do you prepare the people who's gonna watch? I always tell them that flamenco, it's like jazz music.
Mhm.
There's some rules,
Yes.
but it's all about improvisation. It's all about what you, the artist. I mean, there are rules to it, but you improvise, you help each other, you support each other, you tell each other, and when you feel that chemistry as a spectator, there's so much energy into it. It's to me the power of flamenco. It's
Well, it is. It's like a slap in the face, basically, flamenco. Good flamenco,
yes,
but in a good way. You know, it brings you out of anywhere you are. Um, I can tell you that, for example, I can talk about our place. We work in improvisation. To work in improvisation, we obviously have to have many years of experience, and we don't always necessarily know each other. We do work with coping structures, like you said. So they're really traditional to flamenco. But what we do with all this is we break it down, and it does become a game. Everyone on stage is equally important. So you may be seeing the dancer. No, that's not the limelight. Everyone, we're a family up there, and everyone is creating at the same time. So really, you have to connect to one another, and even you have to connect to the audience, because you're receiving energy all the time. So this is really important, because that's what makes that explosion happen.
Mm-hmm.
Some nights are really magical. I can tell you that, for us as performers, and other nights are just wonderful, which is fantastic. You can't always have that magic where you're blown away every night. But I can tell you the wonderful is incredible, even for us as well, because the level of art is so high. And it's just overwhelming to see that, really, and feel it.
Great.
It is. I mean, flamenco, I am from the north of Spain. Flamenco
Okay.
comes from the south of Spain. It's the heart. But when people from the north, we're known to be very, a little bit more Celtic, less passionate.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, it's
They're
not true. It's
all,
not true, but it's
yeah.
one of the stereotypes. It's the
Okay.
stereotypes. When you at the beginning, we are, I would say, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but you're like, well, hold it. What's all of this energy coming to me?
Yes.
In the moment you relax, you put the cards down, and you just let the energy fill you, and you give back that energy, and that energy comes back multiplied by 100, and you
It
get
does.
that transmission of energy. It is, to me, the basic, the intangible thing of flamenco.
I think so too. Really, I mean, when you talk about flamenco is emotion at 500%, and we're working with our individual emotion as a group, the emotion, and like I said, the emotion we catch from the public as well. But in the end, it's really, if you're capable, it's almost like having an X-ray of the people you are seeing. If you can connect, you can see a little bit of our personalities. Also, in flamenco, there's a vast amount of colors and sensations in the different numbers we do, and depending on what number we're doing, we're creating one emotion or another. You connect to this. But I can tell you, it's really, really important, and it's very therapeutic. I remember in my own case and in other members that I've worked with, I performed when my father passed away. So as you can imagine, that was a very strong night for me, but it was also like very special, because I was able to do something that touches my heart in the deepest form. So it was sad, but it was also very comforting, because it was my way of mourning my father that I knew best. Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. That's
That
cathartic. It's like,
It is definitely.
Yeah, and it's powerful not only in that occasion, but every single day you're performing, of course. So
Yes.
how can you cope with that? Is something that you get used to it? Is something that's did you still get the kind of stage fright
Yes, of
before?
course.
Yeah. So that's a constant in your everyday life, isn't it?
It depends on, like, once you start going on the mode that you're in every day, you don't get that panic as much. You obviously get used to it, and you have a big, you're able to dominate what you're doing. You have to be, as a professional, you know what you're doing. But we do obviously get, if other artists come, which come very regularly to the place we work, that makes you be a little bit more intentional. Or if you have I don't know, you've gone away for a month and suddenly you come back, that connection with the stage again makes you feel, all those butterflies and all that insecurity again. It's really, really curious. Doesn't matter how long you've been there. And concerning working every day, it's not easy. I can tell you that. Not everyone is made out to be able to do this job on a daily basis, because it does take a lot out of you physically and mentally, emotionally. So you have to love doing that every day, because when you do this type of work in a tablao, you're not dancing for you. You dance for everybody that's on stage. So the generosity has to be there at 100% all the time. You can't leave your guard down. And that is possibly the hardest part, really.
You just
Not
mentioned
dancing. The dancing is the easiest part.
Yeah, of course. I guess once you get into the tune, you are just let yourself go,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You just mentioned a very interesting word, Francisco. Do we have any idea where the word tablao comes from?
Well, really, the tablaos initiated in the 1900s, because before this we had café cantantes, and also um, flamenco was done in the palaces,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a different form. It was a escuela bolera, okay, a more classical form. And from here, there was transitions all the time. So it goes into café cantantes, where flamenco has a very big participation. And then from here, it does turn into a tablao, which a tablao comes obviously, I imagine, from the word tabla, wooden plank.
Mm-hmm.
And they gained so much importance in flamenco, where anyone that has been a very important artist understands that you have to work in a tablao. And there was a really big flamenco scene in Madrid, where we had Camarón de la Isla, Paco de Lucia, all the big artists were
Those are
coming.
big ones.
Yeah, coming and working, because it's a
Yeah.
part of our career is also working in a tablao. And we've been very fortunate, because as we know, there's cycles, and suddenly it goes out of fashion, but now it's very much back, where everybody wants to work in a tablao, has the need, because it does create you. This is my personal opinion. I am so pro tablao. It's very difficult, and I have a lot of respect for it. And it really does teach you how to be an artist and how to work with all the structures that are so difficult, how to manage yourself, really.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And about, okay, when we go to to a tablao, when we go to
Mhm.
see a flamenco show, you, the dancer, it's where all our eyes are, and you are there.
Yeah.
And when people say, many times you said that we think you are the star, when everybody on that stage are the
Definitely,
stars. I mean,
definitely.
and one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that flamenco, we when you guys, because I'm I am not a dancer at all. When you portray music, I was, oh, flamenco is guitar. Well, it's
Mhm.
guitar, but it's also the
Definitely.
voice. It's also
Yes. The
ticking or
clicking, yes.
tweaking. It's, to me, it's even the sound of the ruffles of a skirt. Uh, all the sounds, all the way you talk to each other, the
Mhm.
way that people don't. A lot of tourists, they say, "What are they singing?" I was don't care. Many times we don't know what they're saying, the voices, the words. Just feel it. And something I love is when you tell each other "guapa," por ahí, ahí
Yeah,
va
when
bien.
we chant each other on.
Yes, that to me, that even puts up the energy. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Flamenco, like I said, has many colors, because all those things that you said are very much part of it. But something, for example, I do want to say is, for me, very important in flamenco is also the silence. Silence has a lot of strength. It tells you a lot as well. And I think it's also a part, different performers with age.
Oh, we're having some technical issues here right now. So let's see. Francisco, I just guess that.
Sing to you. We don't know what they're going to sing either. We have no idea. But we're always in flamenco. Your ear is fundamental. You're always listening. The singers are dancing and the guitar. And there's a very peculiar thing about flamenco as an art form is that, for example, as a dancer, I do have to know about the singing guitar. I don't know how to play it, but I have to understand musicality of it, and the same with the singing. And they have to know all the elements as well. So that's really how we communicate. In the end, we're all musicians. But all
Mhm.
those parts are so important that you mentioned, but silence is also something that's like so strong in flamenco as well.
Talking about silence, one of the
Mhm.
things I had the pleasure that you gave us a private class once, and something I never knew. One of the beautiful things about flamenco is the clapping,
Uh-huh.
right? And us as viewers, it was one of the things you feel you want to do, but
Yeah.
you said you shouldn't because you don't know the rhythm, and you might break the rhythm of us. And I was like, that's so right, because you always feel awkward. Should you clap? Should you not clap? So it's like, ugh. So that was
It's
fun.
It's a really difficult situation, that really, for the audience, because sometimes people get carried away and they do want to participate. And like I said to you, flamenco has many areas, and the clapping is one of them. It's actually a profession of its own. My best friend Dacha, which is works with me every day, and myself, we are actually professional clappers. We go in companies and we do not dance. We go as a musician and we do the clapping as
Mm-hmm.
professionals. And that has a lot of importance, because really that is the bind between the musicians and the dancers and the singers. So that's how important it is. So really sometimes if somebody doesn't know, in flamenco, the clapping doesn't only work as a percussion, it also has emotion, and it has volumes that we work with all the time. So you're creating. It's like a mattress in some way. So obviously, if people are participating, they do throw us off beat, and it makes it a little bit difficult. And but I think most people don't. They understand they're seeing a show and they don't participate, and we really appreciate that. Really, we must be honest.
So for our listeners, if you go to whenever you go to a flamenco show, please don't clap along.
Yeah.
Instead,
At the end, you give it all. At the
Of
end, you
at
give
the
all
course.
end,
your
At
definitely
clapping.
the
at the
end,
end,
you
you give
have
it
to
all.
give
That's
yourself
your
away.
moment.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah.
moment.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Anna. So, just briefly, could you tell us a little bit of a technical part behind the scenes, talking about costumes and especially about shoes? Because how many ladies in my almost 30 years of being a tour guide has told me I want to buy some flamenco dancers' shoes, and
Uh-huh.
it's not that easy. Is that right?
Well, no, now there are many people that make flamenco shoes, professionals. We
You
obviously,
you just said make them. You don't buy
yes.
them already
No.
made.
In flamenco, a lot of the industry around it is actually a craftsman, which is
Uh-huh.
beautiful as well. The guitar, the shoes, the clothing. Generally as professionals, we don't buy off the rack. We go and we get them specialized for the type of needs that we have. Obviously, we choose the color in the shoes type, the sizing of the heels. For women, we have heels that are higher, lower, and that accommodates to the type of footwork how you are used to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and obviously we have more than one, although we generally have our favorites, and you wear them down until you can't wear them anymore, and then you cry because you have to get a new pair and you have to wear them in. It's a pair of shoes is something really personal for a dancer,
Yeah.
yeah, really, really personal.
And I
And
bet they're not cheap if they're custom made
no,
or tailor
no,
made.
no,
They're not
no, they're
cheap.
not
No.
cheap. They're,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously for foreigners, you can buy, shoes that are more commercial shoes. They're
Mm-hmm.
available in stores and everything, but they're not our
Okay. Right.
professional shoes. Anything professional in flamenco is, like I said, craftsman, and it's not cheap. It's specialized people working in this industry, which is also very important because it does create a good industry around the art form.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Everything creates, that importance for the art form, and it's beautiful that that happens here still in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds magical to me, all this world. And will you share with us, Anna, which has been your most, let's say, best slash emotional slash caring moment of your career as a flamenco dancer or as an artist? Do you have any special moment?
Look, I couldn't say to you it's one in particular, because lots of moments give you many special things,
Mm-hmm.
many, many, many special things. Working with people that are incredible artists that are not here anymore, that you've had the privilege to work with them, to share their art, their souls. It's just, so many, whether it's got to do with what you've done, with who you've accompanied, you've had the privilege to work with, how you've traveled. I mean, I'm possibly more on my way out than, on my way in. And I say this with my mouth full and my heart even fuller. I'm so grateful. You cannot imagine what a fulfilling career this is. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard work. I'm not going to say it's not. You have to dedicate. And this is like anything. You have to dedicate yourself to this, to be able to do this and do it well and with a lot of respect and, trying to do the best you can. But special moment, oh gosh. Look, I work with a gentleman. in the tablao that I have so much admiration for him. I cannot even tell you. I started working with him when I arrived in Spain at the age of 23, and we've actually been together in another tablao, and then he moved to our tablao. And I've seen him age, and he's seen me age from 23 to 57. And I can tell you, for me, he is the most important artist I've ever met. I've always seen him at his best every night, doesn't matter who he has to accompany as a singer.
Hmm.
I see him singing when he's walking down the street. I see the love that he has for the art form. And for me, that's something that touches me. Just, sometimes it's not about famous people for me. It's about something that's very honest and very close by. And sometimes also the anonymous, which I think is really beautiful
Oh,
for
sounds
me.
beautiful.
For me.
Doesn't it, Francisco? It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's so I don't know. To me, flamenco, I think it's a way of living. You cannot.
Yeah.
It's like any art form, top art form that it requires. Yes, you need to have personal assets, but there's so much learning, so much technique, so much improvisation. There's so much of everything that it's not just like, okay, you go, you dance. No, 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 no. There's a
No, no,
lot of
no.
training, a lot of
A lot of
hours
homework,
behind.
a lot of homework behind everyone.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Okay. Well,
What about, okay,
yeah.
when when you go to a flamenco show, you the ladies, the dresses that you wear are beyond beautiful. Okay, you have short ones, long ones with a big tail. There's one, the traditional one that we have in mind, the flamenco dancer with a big, big long tail.
Okay. The bata de
Isn't that
cola.
bata de cola? Isn't that super difficult to move around with that one?
May I
It
say
is.
something? May I say something
Sure,
here?
sure, sure, sure.
Anna, please, how would you say bata de cola in English?
Well, really, it's a tail dress. It doesn't
Tail
have a
dress.
proper, yeah, I would say tail dress. It doesn't have a proper translation. I always try to say like the Spanish names so people learn them as well, which I
Yeah,
think is nice. It's
perfect.
like when you travel the world, you like to say thank you and hello in another country.
In another country,
And
right?
I think it's great that they learn how to say bata de cola.
Mm-hmm.
And a bata de cola is a beautiful garment. It has its own technique. It's very difficult. They're garments that are quite heavy. And like I said, it does, people specialize in these garments on their own. They're very expensive
Wow.
garments, very, very expensive garments. Not everybody uses them either. And now they've also gone into a lot of males are even using it, which is fantastic. It's all opened up for everyone. And I think it gives a lot of freedom, a lot of capacity, and also a lot of freedom even for the women to not have to wear the bata de cola all the time, that men can wear it as well.
Well, that's cool.
Yes, it
Well,
is.
now with social media, there's so much flamenco that we can see. It's
Yes,
magnificent. I mean,
definitely,
and
definitely.
mm, for our listeners to understand how important flamenco is in Spain, there has been for the last 2 years an amazing campaign done by the Prado Museum, by our Fine Arts Museum, with flamenco dancers dancing and singing in front of the most important painting in
Mm-hmm.
Spain.
True.
I mean, that's to me, for people who comes from outside, try to make them understand that it is an art form and it is as the same art form as Velázquez, Goya,
Oh,
or
definitely.
Ana
Yeah.
Romero
Well,
dancing on a stage. It's
well,
exactly the
well,
same.
not me, obviously, but
Wow.
I mean, the art form is definitely, I think it's very important that, unfortunately, it is getting a lot of importance, and I'm really happy for it because it needs even more importance. Flamenco is an art form. It belongs to Spain. It belongs to the folklore, to the people. It's music that belongs to the people, and especially in the south of Spain. If you
Mm-hmm.
went to the south of Spain, you will see flamenco in the streets. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm talking about the people, and they may not be flamenco performers. Flamenco is a way of being, a way of feeling, a way of moving, a way, you will see older women, the way they talk to each other. You will hear a guitar, you will hear singing, you will hear clapping. It's part of the tradition. And it's very important that it's supported by this country. And I think it needs a lot of support. And obviously, anyone that's sometimes has a lot more support out of Spain than in Spain, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
You leave Spain, and I can tell you, anyone knows about flamenco and is interested in knowing more about flamenco.
Oh, great. Well, Francisco, we can tell by the way she develops her talking, explaining everything, her passion. We don't need to explain anything about it. I mean, she's shown it all. So, Anna, what about this? Just to wrap up all these things,
Sure,
would you please spare just one extra minute for us, just letting us
sure.
know where you are performing now, where you work, if you want to promote the place and encourage our listeners to go there,
I'd love to. The
please?
opportunity is wonderful. Well, I work at Las Carboneras. I'm also a co-founder from Las
Hmm.
Carboneras. Las Carboneras is a beautiful tablao, very family orientated, and I would say we revolutionized a lot of flamenco when we opened in the year 2000. We try to be very true to a format that is very typical of Madrid, which is the cuadro flamenco, which is everybody up on stage.
Hmm.
And we have a lot of respect for what we do. I think we offer great flamenco with incredible artists. We change the artists every week. And I can assure you, anyone that comes from out of Spain that is a flamenco performer always comes by Las Carboneras to see what's happening. And not only the performers, even the people that work there, Kike, that
Okay, yeah.
yeah, he's a fundamental person that receives you at the front, that everybody loves him, all the flamenco artists, all the non-flamenco artists, Las Carboneras is not only made up of the performers, it's made up of so many people, and even people that come on a regular basis that become like our locals. We had people that come and they might want to draw every night, painters, or a photographer that asks if they can come and take photos. So it's really beautiful. I love to think it's very like family. In the end, it becomes like a family,
True.
and lots of musicians come, lots of theatre performers. It's I feel really proud when I see these things, and when I see young performers that come and they
Mhm.
perform, and they always, you do feel very proud when people say, "This is the place that I learn. This is where I come and I learn the most." So it's a great privilege to be working at Las Carboneras every night.
It's a cozy place, right? It's not a big
It is.
stage. It's not
No,
a big stage with hundreds of seats. I think it's 120 or 130 max
well, you know more
maximum.
than me. I've got no idea. You tell me about the show, but I've got no idea. But I know it has a capacity of yes, 100 or something.
Yeah.
But yes, it is a cozy venue. It's a
Hmm.
close up. It's where
Yeah.
you get flamenco in the gut. You
Yeah.
get it straight in the gut.
I totally agree.
I
Yeah.
love when you said that flamenco is like a slap on the face. In the
Yeah.
Carboneras, you're so close that it's like literally,
Yep.
it's,
That's right.
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Really, the
And our,
Okay.
Carboneras,
our our technician, our sound technician, Patricia, I have to say she's excellent, and that also makes everything work in an incredible manner.
Well,
She's an important part of the show, believe it or not. Yes.
let's send a big hug to all the staff in Carboneras and
Yes.
a big kiss to you, Anna. That's you have been so generous, seriously. Just taking these few minutes of your personal life, because I know from the moment we
It's
hung up here,
wonderful.
you had to run to go to the Carboneras to perform tonight, isn't it?
Yes, I'm going
That's right.
now.
You're
Yes.
going now. Okay. Well, Francisco.
so, as a reminder for everybody, Las Carboneras is probably the best flamenco venue in Madrid. It's
Hmm.
very, very close to Plaza Mayor. We're going to post, along with all of this, the website, because we really strongly recommend to book ahead. Either give them a call or through the website. It's very important to book ahead because they're good means they're almost fully booked. Okay, so please be aware that you need to book ahead. And a couple of more things. Please do not clap along. And second, please no videos. That's a very, very important thing. They will let you know at the end of the show when you can take a video. So please don't go taking videos. It's kind of
You can
unrespectful.
take short videos, very short, but not of the whole show,
No, the whole
Yeah.
obviously.
show, of
And the
course.
this
Yeah.
it's like if you go to a play, you don't take a video of a movie, you don't take a video of a play, you don't take a video of flamenco until they let you know.
Or
That's it. Now you can go ahead and take
flash photos. That
those
thing
photos.
must be
Oh, that's another
annoying.
good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
No flash photos because here
Yeah.
you have Anna dancing, twisting, the whole thing, and
Yeah.
you're with flash. She can get disoriented. So please, 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 no flash photos.
And
With
for
this
our
said,
audience out here, if you want to share with us any flamenco show that you've been, some photos, our email is spanishloops@gmail.com. And Francisco's website is travelingsteps.es. Mine is Jorge Roman. Sorry.
but I'll continue with Jorge.
travelingwithjorge.com.
Anna,
And
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Thank you,
thank you
guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for the opportunity. It was
Thank
lovely to
you.
be with you.
We love you.
Again. We love
Me
you.
too.
It's true.
Take care. Take care.
Okay,
you.
Anna. Francisco,
Bye.
see you next week. Anna, bye-bye. See you
Bye.
also next week there personally. I'll go and give you a
Definitely.
hug. All right?
Bye.
Okay then. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Gracias. Gracias.
De nada. Our
Gracias.
pleasure. Thank you. And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast, no spaces altogether. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.